Hi, my name is Junior, and I'm an instructor here for Easy Wheels Driving School. We are the #1 driving school in New Jersey. We're here to provide our services to everybody who's interested in getting their commercial driver's license. We tailor to your needs. We're open 7 days a week. We work very flexible with scheduling, and hopefully we see you guys soon. Now, this video will help you achieve and pass your pre-trip inspection at the DMV. This is a video that will explain to you how to get all the points that are needed to pass. This is your checklist. You're allowed to bring this with you. All the markers are here. You just have to check each one, and you will pass. Now, you cannot have any marks on the actual paper before you arrive to the test, but as you are testing, you are allowed to mark along to make sure you hit all the numbers. That being said, the very first thing that they do, usually when they come to you, they do this right here, where it's called a lights of operations check, which is all their external lights. So they'll approach the vehicle, and you'll turn the key to the right, and they'll be standing outside, and they'll say to turn on the left signal indicator, then the right signal indicator, then the high beams indicator, then the forward flashers, and then they'll proceed towards the back, and they'll do left, right, four ways, and then brake light. That light check will give you a point, which is this box right here, and then they'll hop inside. Once they hop inside, they'll tell you to begin with your test, your safe start, your air brake system, and so on. And then you'll be able to follow this order here, which I will show you. I will give you some indications on how you should do the test. So, starting off, what you should do is, it's not really as far as points, it's just an actual safety thing, because you always have to think safety first when it comes to trucks and taking your test. So seatbelt is a must. You will put your seatbelt on, and you will say my seatbelt is not cut or ripped, and it locks properly, like so. My stick shift has to be in neutral, which means you see the stick moving side to side nice and freely. You have to make sure your brakes are applied. You pull the brake valve out, make sure it's on, and then you would turn the key to the right. And the reason you want the key to the right is because you want the ABS light to turn on and off. Okay, so that's part of the actual test. So at this moment, since I have power now, I'll be able to know if my air pressure is full, which it currently is. What you want to tell the examiner is you want to lower the pressure to build it up. Lowering the pressure consists of you fanning the brake. Whenever you want to build up the pressure, you just turn on the vehicle and accelerate. But whenever you want to lower the pressure, you fan the brake down. You pump the brake. So we're going to fan it down to about 90. And now I'm going to tell him I'm going to build up my air pressure so I can begin with my air brake test. So I'll clutch all the way down, and I'll turn the key to the right. Now we're going to wait for the governor to release. That'll release somewhere between 120 and 140. If you want it to go a little faster, you hold the gas to about 10 RPMs, and that'll make the air pressure rise quicker. All right, our governor just sneezed, and that means our pressure is full between 120 and 140. And we're going to conduct the first checkbox here is the air brake test, okay? Air brakes. So air brakes is actually the strictest part of the test. It's a 3-part check, and if you mess up in any order of those 3 parts, you kind of automatically fail. Right? That's why it's kind of hard, because it's strict. It's not hard to remember, but it is extremely strict, and you can't make any mistakes. So the first thing you should do is clutch all the way down, put the truck in first. Once it's in gear, you don't let go of the clutch, because then the truck will roll or will move. So what you want to do is you shut it off. Once it's completely off, release the clutch, and don't let go of the key, because you got to turn the key back to the right. It has to have power. So it's gear, off, let go of the clutch, turn the key. And then release this valve by pushing it in. So you push it in, and you hold it down for 3 seconds. If I forgot to put it in gear, the truck will roll, I will fail. If I forgot to turn the key to the on position and I have no power, when I do the light check for the low pressure warning, it will not work and I will fail. And if I really forget to release this valve at the very end when they have to pop and they won't, I will fail, which I am going to demonstrate those 3 things. So I wanted to point that out. Now I would take out my phone in the test, and you want to use maybe a digital stopwatch. So you would say, I cannot lose more than 3 pounds in 1 minute. You see, I have the timer ready, and when I apply the brake, I would say starting now. I would start the timer. So you have to wait a full minute with him. For the sake of the video, I won't wait the whole minute, but I'll pretend. Okay, the minute passed. I didn't lose 3 pounds of pressure in 1 minute, and that will be the first check for air leaks. The next check would be, I'm going to check for the low pressure warning light and alarm, and that has to come on before 60. So if the key wasn't on, it won't work. So that's why I said that has to be on. All right, so I'm going to start fanning it down. I'm going to stop pumping right when I see it's about to reach 60. Like so. So I'll tell him my low pressure warning light and buzzer and alarm is working right before it reaches 60 pounds. So that's good. Final check for the air brake system is my emergency spring brake. That must pop by itself between 20 and 40. If I start fanning down and for whatever reason I decide to touch it because I thought it came out already, you will automatically fail because you're not allowed to touch it anymore. Once you push it in, you can't put your hands back on it. So my job is now to just keep pumping until it pops. If I forgot to push it in, there's nothing I can do, you will fail. So you can't forget. You got to remember the order. In the beginning, when I put it in gear, I shut the key off, I turn the key back on, and I release the brake. All of that has to be done in the beginning. You cannot do it after. So now I know it's in because I did it. So now I'm going to check my emergency spring brake, and it's going to pop between 20 and 40, and I'm going to demonstrate it. And my emergency spring brake popped out between 20 and 40 and it's working properly. And I just passed the air brake test, which is the strictest part of the test. From now on, everything else will be points, it will be check marks, and as long as you hit those markers, you will pass your test. So what we're going to do next is build up the air pressure once again, so then we can do a brake test. So what we just did is an air leak test, like an air leak check for the 3 systems. What we're going to do at the end is a brake test. So we're going to check the actual brake and the service brake that is holding. So I'm going to put it in neutral, and I'm going to turn the truck back on, and I'm going to let it build on its own. And while it's building, I'm going to conduct an inside cabin inspection, and I'm going to hit all these markers, okay? So we're going to start with the light indicators. Now, we did the light externals check outside already with the examiner. Now we're doing the internal lights. So we're going to do these gauges here. Not the gauges, the internal lights, indicators. So left turn indicator is working correctly. Right turn indicator is working correctly. Forward flashers are flashing and working correctly. And my high beam is working correctly right there. Okay, so those are the lights. It says right there, light indicators. Emergency equipment. I have electrical spare fuses in here. I have an ABC fire extinguisher fully charged with the gauge on green right here. And a locking pin. And I have 3 triangle reflectors inside this box in case of an emergency. Keep it going. Windshield and traffic monitoring devices. My front windshield is not cracked or damaged. No illegal stickers, no obstructions. My driver's side mirror is securely mounted. It has no cracks, no illegal stickers, no obstructions. My fisheye mirror is also not cracked or damaged. Securely mounted. No damage. My passenger side mirror is securely mounted to the truck. No cracks, no damages. No illegal stickers, top and bottom. Done with the monitoring devices and the windshield, wipers and washers. So you hold this down, you let it operate, you throw a little liquid, and you say my washer fluid is working and has fluid. My wipers are working smoothly, they have proper tension, and they are not dry rotted. That'll give you that done, that point. Heater and defrost. So you would turn the knobs all the way to the right, all 3. You put your hand on top, and you would say my defrost is working. My defrost is working. Then you would turn the vents back to the front, and you would say my heater unit is working. So it's first all the way to the right, all 3. Defrost is working. Then you turn it back to the vents, and you say my heater unit is working. They separate them. Defrost and heater. You got your horns. Your horns is your electrical horn. My electrical horn is working, and our air horn is working. So that is all the markers for the inside, except for on the top where it says to check the brakes itself. So we can't check the brakes unless the air pressure is full. Now the governor could have gone off already. I wouldn't know, so because I was talking. So what I'll do is I'll hold the gas a little bit to about 10 RPMs, and if I notice that the air pressure does not move at all, that's an indicator that it's full. If it does move slightly, then just wait for the governor to release. And it just did, like so. So it wasn't full, it just released. My air pressure is full between 120 and 140. And now we're gonna do an actual brake test to see if the brakes are holding. So I'm gonna put it in first, and I'm going to leave the brake on. It's currently on, it's out. And I'm gonna raise the clutch until I feel a slight tug. Once I feel the tug, that means that it's not released and it's holding correctly. And there it is. So the tractor brake is holding correctly. It's nice and sturdy. The truck did not move. I felt the tug. Now I'm going to actually check the service brake, the actual pedal. So I can't release that first, because if I release that first, we can roll. And if you roll as an unsafe act, then you will fail. So what you want to do is you hold the clutch in and the service brake in, and now I release it. And for order for me to move without rolling, what I do is I don't let go of the brake right away. I raise the clutch slightly. Right when I feel that the clutch is about to grab, that's when I let go of the brake, like so. So I feel that it's tugging, I let go of the brake, it moved, and now I clutch and brake and stop the truck. And I say, my service brake is working correctly, it fully stopped the truck, and it didn't pull left or right. And then you put it back in neutral, you apply the brake, you shut off the vehicle. It's an optional if you want to leave your lights on and off. It really doesn't matter since you already did an external light check, but if you want to leave them on so you can check them as well when you're outside, it's fine. Take the key with you and you proceed outside. If you do as I show you here, you did the air brake test, you did the actual brake test as well, and you did the points, you got all the points that you were required for the inside. I went by their checklist. There's nothing additional. It just got to go by this list. If you go by this list, you will pass this test. Now, we're going to split the video. We're going to do the outside part, and I'll see you guys on the outside.